As one of 9 siblings growing up in a notoriously violent neighborhood in the Bronx, Betty Perry knew firsthand what hardship was like. When she turned 5, the family split up, and Betty and her brothers were sent to foster homes, then later to an orphanage. By the time she was 9, Betty had moved in with her grandmother. By no means a woman of wealth, she was a woman full of love, wisdom, and faith. In spite of the family's constant struggles, Betty had another constant that kept her strong: her love of music.
The teacher said, "Well, what do you want to do?" I said, "I want to play viola." So that's how that came to be, and I really had no idea what this instrument was because I wanted to be a Motown singer. But I took this instrument home every day, and I practiced every day. And finally, my grandmother got tired of it, and she says, "If you're going to bring it home and you're going to practice, this is where you practice," and she pointed to the bathroom. And I practiced, and even today, I love practicing in the bathroom. My music teacher came to me and he said, "You have a gift." I remember my girlfriend getting up, and she got on the stage, and I was sitting in the auditorium. And this little short woman got up on this podium, and she gives this downbeat, and the most beautiful sound I ever heard in my life came from these kids, and they were 7th grade through 9th grade. And just out of the blue, I started crying. And I remember my spirit saying, "This is what I want to do."
As Betty developed her musical talents, she found it was isolating her from her family. Her siblings just didn't speak the language of music. But this didn't stop her from dreaming, pursuing, and practicing. And with the support and nurturing methods of her music teachers along the way, Betty performed in many neighborhood orchestras, which eventually led to performances at Carnegie Hall and Lincoln Center.
My music teacher empowered me to believe that I had the ability to be able to teach myself how to play that instrument and learn how to play it well. I had an opportunity at that young age at 12. I played every year and sometimes 2 times a year. I played all of those halls. I don't talk about it a lot, but I can talk about it enough to my kids to say all these things are possible, but what does it take to get there? It's not about wishing. It is about somebody saying you can do it, determined to do it. Don't ever let somebody say you can't do it.
Betty moved to Indianapolis in 1978 to find that new and better life. While working in a small child development center on the East Side in the mid-1980s, Betty began teaching violin lessons to many of the inner-city children in the program. Like Betty, most of the children came from low-income, single-parent homes. Arts education was not high on the list of priorities, but Betty knew that if classical music could help her escape from poverty, it could help anyone.
Music does make a difference in the lives of children. That it does provide opportunities for them to develop lifelong skills and lifelong friendships.
Betty's idea was finally realized in 1995 when her music education program officially became the Metropolitan Youth Orchestra. The goals were simple: through music lessons, offer young people access to positive mentors. Teach them character-building skills so that they can be successful in life. Keep them committed to their studies and finishing school. And best of all, bring families together.
I was determined to start a program that would not separate families from the kids that I wanted to train. That wherever these children were going to go with the teaching, that my philosophy was the parents needed to go with the children. They had to be an important part of training these children. It's not about the music, but it's about the whole family being successful together, to look and see our program accommodating the children that otherwise would not be accepted, and also being accommodating to children that would not have the money to be able to have access to this type of program.
Betty Perry's philosophy is she, first of all, always tells the kids, look, your grades come first in school. How are you doing? She'll ask, how are you doing in school? No, let me back up. She first of all asks for a hug. That right there alone speaks volumes about the family that the MYO is. You hear Betty Perry say a lot, this is my family.
In 2008, the Indianapolis Symphony Orchestra recognized how important the Metropolitan Youth Orchestra was to Indianapolis's arts community and invited MYO to become a permanent program of the ISO, thereby ensuring Betty's legacy continued on.
About Miss Perry, she wouldn't make it boring for us. She would make it fun. She would try to find some techniques to make it fun, like lay on your back and try to play it. She really makes us feel comfortable when she teaches us.
She's nice, she's fun, she teaches us a lot. She tries her best to help us learn lots of musical things.
The Metropolitan Youth Orchestra was an idea that started out by a person that was fueled by all the people who cared about her and poured everything that they had into her little heart. And they intended for her to carry out the rest of it. And that's what I intend for everybody else to do. I've tried to fill everybody's heart with the information that my heart was filled with. And so now it's up to everybody else to carry that legacy forward. Yeah.